Hello sneaker lovers, welcome back to Shoe Dog Review. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and that is we're going to look at a pair of custom shoes by John Geiger. Now I've been waiting for these since September last year. They were the last pair of size 7s, but I wanted to grab a pair. I really wanted to get my hands on these. I mean, the fact they're custom shoes, they've been taken apart and put back together. I've got a lot of respect for that, because of course it's not easy. Really, it's not like production, where all the parts are just put together in the right sequence, and they're doing thousands of them, so everything's on computer stitching, everything's perfectly neat. These things are hand dismantled to a degree, obviously, and then reassembled. So let's just have a quick look around now. The guys used the Air Force One high. We've got the high version of this, like Air Force One, $100 shoe. And I guess he got a whole bunch of them. Obviously they're all the same, so he put it a job lot. I don't know how, but these were made in Vietnam by night. So let's pull these guys out of the box. The original shoe that he began working on. Now let's have a look at the shoe. Now looking around it, okay, he's detailed up with the embroidery. Too many no's, not enough O's. You can see that. Okay, and he's got 4 swooshes on each side. He's got here a blue faux snake, a grey tumbled, a camo, a tan camo with sort of brown and different coloured browns on it anyway. A cream, sort of antique cream pony hair with gold drop print. Then over on this one we've got a gold metallic napper, a purple croc emboss, like an urban grey, which is slightly greeny, sort of waxy canvas, and a patent, kind of rust coloured patent. Flipping around to the other side, we've got here the clear PVC, silver faux snake, dark sort of silver faux snake, cream pony hair, no print, a mint napper, and then over on this foot we've got, it's like a, what are you going to call that? It's a dark, deep rust sort of nubuck with a slight emboss, slight sort of croc emboss in that, if you can see that. Okay, then you've got like a dark olive nubuck, white croc emboss, and dark navy denim. Tongue detailed up with the misplaced checks. Interestingly enough, on the inside, this time it doesn't cite the shoe surgeon's name, it's just got Geiger Collection. And same on the other one, on the inside. Okay, and on the back here, it's got the Nike Air tab, which is the original. This has been unstitched and then stitched back down. Okay, so that's a quick run around with the shoe. Let's just close up the strap and have a look at it, and let's have a little bit of a talk about the shoes. Like I say, these are an original pair of shoes. I imagine, I have not watched how he did it, but I imagine he took off the sole so that you can get inside this shoe from here. There's a rod of fabric on the bottom. I'll just take out the footbed. You can have a look at that. Yeah, do these live. People say don't work with children and animals. Well, they also say do your homework, don't you? Prepare, so to make that easier to take out. All right, look in the bottom, we've got a fabric there and that red stitching. Now he'll undo that, he'll take the sole off, undo that stitching, and so that he can access the shoe from this direction to be able to stitch these swooshes on. And he'll also undo the here, open that up so he can get to do it all, and then close that back down. And if you look inside, you can see where it's stitched through, and it's gone over the label. Now you know yourself, if you have a pair of these, that there's no stitching running through, even the swoosh that there is doesn't go through that label, because it's actually assembled before the lining is attached. So that shows you that this has been worked on after the production was finished. So it's beautiful. Now, the thing about handmade stuff is it's not computer stitched, so it's stitched by hand. So you can see here there's sort of variation in the stitching a little bit, and actually I think he's cut these swooshes out by hand as well, because they're not always a perfect sort of Nike swoosh. I'm not knocking that. You know, I'm being neutral. I'm just making an observation. And you come around to the other side, you see the same thing. So I would have put this one on first, then this one, then this one, then this one. So this one, you've got to stitch through, you know, over the top of that. And I tell you what, this stuff is very stiff. These Air Force Ones are made of a coated leather, so it's like a plastic coating on top. And that's actually very durable. It's leather underneath. So you've got actually a real leather there, but it's got like a durable coating on it. It's kind of scuff proof. And you know, it actually lasts a long time, but it's incredibly stiff and it's very, very hard to stitch through. So, you know, it's not an enviable task actually trying to stitch along here and get through that and that on all these layers. Amazing. And it has to be a very powerful machine to do that, not like, you know, fast, but just strong, so that it can actually hold and doesn't give. You know, if you used a domestic sewing machine, that would just give up. I don't know if you've ever done any sewing and you've had 3 or 4 layers of fabric and you try and stitch through it, it starts to buckle up and get stuck. It's a real problem. So it's not easy. I mean, we call those sewing machines a post machine. It's got a wheel and it's obviously designed to stitch through several layers of leather, but controlling it, keeping that stitch even, it's incredibly tough. So it is a little bit uneven, let's say, natural. But I think in a way that, for many, that's the beauty of these shoes, isn't it? It's the, you know, it's that handmade feel. If things are too neat, too perfect, they feel mass-produced. That's when the uniqueness of them is gone and they don't feel quite so special. I mean, I have to confess, I mean, of course, I've opened the box first and had a good look at them. I've taken photos. You know, I was a little bit disappointed at first. You know, it took me a while because I didn't expect the leather to be a plastic coated one. I expected it to be a bit more rich than that. I mean, I paid $550 for these. And yes, okay, divide that by 4, you get back down to $100+. And the original shoe is $100. So, you know, adding on his creativity, his time and everything else, you know, I'm not saying it's not value for money. It is. Because it's, you know, these are absolutely unique, and of course the resale value is, you know, a little bit more than that. But I'm not going to sell them on. Obviously, I'm just going to keep them. You know, I'm a little bit disappointed really that you know, I didn't actually get a pair of the Lux Force Ones when they first came out because I loved that zigzag sole. But here we are. I've got a pair now. Add to my little collection. Footbed is the original footbed. I mean, if I'm going to do a critique, I think the one thing I might have done as well is actually made a slightly more special tissue inside the box. You know, branded it up, printed it up, John Geiger. You know, that would have been nice. But nevertheless, you know, these are custom shoes, so he has customised them. You know, it's an original pair. He's then customised them and made them available. So, and that, you know. So that is exactly what they are. It fits the description. You know, it isn't like a remarketing thing where he's, you know, just repackaging and stuff like that. You know, he's literally adjusted the product to have a unique characteristic about it. You know, and it's hard work enough, I guess. So I'm gonna knock it. So there will be some still, so you can have a nice deep look at this. But yeah, coming back to that, I was a little bit disappointed with the quality of the stitching here, controlling of the wheel there. I've actually stitched shoes myself a long time ago now, back in the 80s. And, you know, so I know what it's like to use a post machine. I know what it's like to try and get through many layers of leather. And I know what it's like when you can't go back and do it again. You have to get it right first time. Because if obviously you make holes in it and stuff like that, you have to then pull out the thread. And you keep doing that, eventually it will tear. So you've just got to do it one time. And you've got to do 100 pairs of these. I think that's how many they made. I think 100 pairs at a high anyway. So, you know, you've got to run through and get these things done. And it's, yeah, you're going to get a few that aren't quite so perfect, let's put it that way, or quite so neat. Yeah. But the overall impact, you know, fantastic. Nice statement. Very collectible. Unique. Hand done by John Geiger. And I'm really chuffed to have a pair, finally. Now, check out the photos, the stills, and there's some close-ups and stuff like that, and you'll be able to explore the shoes a little bit more. Cheers guys, and yeah, thanks for joining me on the review, and I'll see you next time. Bye.